Hey guys, Cronus Falls here, and I'm going to be talking about Update 2.0 Tag Team Arena coming, as well as the upcoming ×10 Sacred Order summons. So let's go ahead and get into it here. First things first, new content, or I mean, some of you may say it's not, more of the same arena, but I'm still excited about it. Basically, there's going to be a new type of arena coming out where instead of one team, you're actually going to have 3 teams. So you have to set your defense first of all, which needs to be 3 teams of at least 3 champions. So you can't just set a 1-person defense like you do in the current arena in Gold 4. But I mean, you could just set 3 really weak champions in each one. So, you know, you can still kind of do the same thing. But basically, let me go ahead and pull up a picture for you here. So it's going to be just like this. Decided to disappear for a second. But basically, you set up your 3. So over here, we see we've got 3 teams on defense, and then on offense over here, you get to set up your teams. As far as we know, you're going to be able to set them up in order to counter these teams. So I would say in this mode, you're going to have an even bigger advantage on offense than in the regular arena, because you need to win at least 2 out of 3 in order to come out positive. So let's say I look at the enemy team and I say, okay, this team is tough, but the other 2 are not. So I'm just going to absolutely bomb the first round, put in my weakest champions, and then go for the win on the next 2. So there's definitely going to be some strategy to it that's a little different than the regular arena, which is why I am excited to check it out as it comes out. But basically, it becomes available after you reach account level 35, which is going to happen really quickly if you're going to be sticking with the game. You'll probably do it within the first week or so. And obviously, at that point, you're not going to have super strong champions to put in there. You're going to be pretty early game. But it is a tiered system with bronze through gold 4. And seeing as it's going to be a new arena, hopefully it's not going to be filled up in the lower levels with really strong teams and prevent you from progressing like the current arena is. That being said, it will get that way over time. There's not really any way currently to avoid that. At least Polarium hasn't really made any effort to. So, but while it's fresh, we should be able to see just weaker teams down in the bronze levels. And stronger teams moving up, hopefully. Now, you do only get 5 tokens per day at reset, which is really low. I wish it was at least 10. As far as I know, there's no way to refill them. They don't regenerate except at the daily reset. Each battle is 3 battles in and of itself, so it's really 15 battles, but it's, like I said, only 5 chances to go. So if you lose, that's just 20% of your fights for the day are losses and nothing you can do about it till tomorrow. So not super psyched about that. I wish it was a higher amount, but we use what we can get. And yeah, so I mean, like I said, there's going to be a lot of strategy to it. I've been considering what to do for multiple teams. So if we go into my champions here, my normal team that I come in here with is Arbiter, Rotos, Torment, and Madame Ceres. But now I'm thinking, well, I don't want to put necessarily all of those on the same arena defense for this. So what can I do in order to make 3 strong defenses? So my thoughts are, you want to do something along the lines of having a pretty strong speed team to start with. So I'm considering making it Arbiter, Rotos, Masha Led, and Madame Ceres. So that'll be my strongest speed team. And then a secondary speed team going after that. So for that, I'm planning on having my Gorgorab, another Madame Ceres, potentially, where is she at? So right down here. And then something along the lines of, I want to get my Torment in there. So the reason I'm not putting Torment in the first setup is because it's a lot faster than the second setup. So I put Torment in there to prevent cut-ins as much, which should definitely be helpful. It makes up for the lack of speed on the second. And then someone like a Lua, which I have in my vault, to come in there and just kind of wreck people, just knock them down. And then for the third team, I would want something a little tankier. So I'm considering something along the lines of like a Rosin, Harvest Jack, Miscreated Monster, and Stagnite, or something along those lines. Something that will be difficult to kill, build them with a lot of resistance and high defense, high HP. And so the reason that I'm considering that as a potential future meta for this is because of Rotos here. So Rotos is a champion that is just absolutely dominating Arena along with his wife Siphi. If you go into Platinum, Rotos is in just about every team. Siphi's in as many as have got her. And just absolutely busted. But in this new Arena style, you can only bring in a champion once. So I can only put Rotos on one of my teams. If I have a dupe Rotos, I can put him on another one, but I do not. So when you're attacking, you have to decide, who am I bringing my Rotos in against? So if I have a team, another reason I didn't want Torment on this team is because if I have this team, Arbiter, Rotos, Mashalet, and Madame Ceres, I've got a Reviver, right? So Rotos would be really handy to bring in against me because he can block Revive. But on my second, weaker team, I'm going to have a Torment. So if they've got one Rotos, who do they bring it in against? Is it against the Reviver? Is it against the Torment and Reviver? Or is it against the super tanky resisting team that I'm going to be having in after that? Because without a Rotos ignoring defense, it's going to be a lot harder to kill those guys. Or like if I brought a Cardinal in there, for instance, or I'm considering Molly Tankard coming in there as well, another Reviver. It's going to bring some serious strategy into where do you want to bring your strongest champions. And I think that's a really interesting thing. We're going to see a pretty complex meta developing going forward, and I'm really excited about it. So now that we're done talking about the tag team arena, let's talk about the rewards for it. So there's going to be an arena shop that they're calling a bazaar, and it's not going to be launching immediately. They say it's going to be coming out in the next big arena update, which means nothing. That could be months down the line. It's not even the next update, it's the next big arena update. So hopefully we'll see it soon after this launches, but it's Polarium, so you really never know with these guys. Hopefully though, we're going to be able to buy some good stuff like books. They do say that you will get rewards for participating in the tag team arena before the bazaar goes live, and those rewards will be based on what tier you get to. So that is interesting. It's probably just going to be like some sort of currency towards the bazaar. Now what they haven't said, and one thing I'd be interested to know, is whether or not we're going to be able to buy things from this bazaar with regular arena tokens, or if it's only going to be with special tokens that we get from this tag team version. I mean, either way, it's going to be good to have, but you do have a lot more opportunity to get regular arena tokens than you do to get these, considering there's only going to be 5 tokens a day for this. So keep that in mind. I hope that they're going to have rewards for both, but I just really don't know at this point. So that's exciting. Hopefully we're going to see books in there, hopefully shards. We'll just have to wait and see, but if we can get a reliable way to get legendary books, like even if it's just one a week or whatever, that'll still be a really exciting addition to the game. And yeah, that's about it for what we know on Update 2.0 right now. Let's go ahead and pivot to the 10 times Sacred Order summons that are going to be coming up. Actually, I have a couple more picks here I want to show you guys. First of all, on the Tag Team Arena. So this is one of the arena locations that is going to be coming up. Obviously, the aesthetic looks really nice. That's what Raid is known for. Let's see, we've also got this right here. So this basically is showing how it looks after a battle is done. So, you've come in with your 3 teams, you beat all 3 of their teams, you get +6 on all of these. So each one is ranked individually, so you could potentially lose 11 here and then gain 6, and come out positive. So that's something interesting to note as well. And finally, we have this. So this is going to be showing a view of what we are going to expect to see as we go into this tag team arena. So basically, you know, you get to see your 3 teams on the opponent's defense and decide who you want to fight like the normal arena. So, I mean, those are all just kind of sneak peeks. They don't tell us too much, but it is cool to see. There's also some play testing going on right now, I believe, so we might see more coming out before the update. So look forward to that. Now let's go ahead and get on to this ×10 Sacred Order summons coming up. Now, Polarium has been really weird in doing this. Basically, they've been doing a ×10 every single week, and the first one was the Sacred Order about 6 weeks ago, I believe, and now they're back to it. It's going to be the exact same ×10, and there's literally no difference. They've got all these different factions, but they're just coming back to this. And I mean, granted, there's some good champions in there, which I'm going to be going over in a second here, but I really wish they had just gone ahead and gone with something like Ogren Tribes to get Skull Crusher, or maybe something like Undead with Sifi. Actually, you know what? Maybe we don't want too many Sifis out there in Arena, but still, like something a little bit different since they've already done this event. Let's go ahead and get into what champs we're going to be seeing 10 times, though. So as far as epics go, we're going to be seeing Frostbringer. So Frostbringer is an epic. She is a turn meter booster, I believe. Or does she just increase speed? Oh, just increase speed, so not turn meter booster. So, I mean, she's not great. She's a support champion. Doesn't really do any healing. She more places debuffs and buffs you with some speed and increased attack. But without turn meter boost, she's not that viable in Arena. So, I mean, all in all, she's decent in Fire Knight, but the wrong affinity. And just kind of lackluster epic. Next, we're going to be looking at Talia here. So Talia is actually one of the hardest hitting epics in the game. Her base attack is 1343, and on her A2 here, she places a 25% increased attack buff and a 30% increased crit rate buff on herself for 2 turns, and then attacks all enemies. She can also put a bomb on when she's paired with Phoenix, but you're not typically going to have that condition met. But if you pair her with someone who puts a 50% increased attack, and then you build her with only 70% crit rate, so that she gets the bonus from that, as well as being able to build some more crit damage on her. She is just a really strong champion as far as an arena nuker goes. I'd say she definitely falls off in the end game, typically just because, you know, there's better options out there, like a Rotos for instance, but still a very strong hitter. Now let's go ahead and move on to Juliana. So Juliana is a poisoner / HP burner, used to be one of the best in the game. Now she is kind of outdated. She's not bad though. Basically on her A2 here, places 30% increased crit rate buff on herself, then attacks one enemy 2 times, places a 5% poison debuff on the target for 3 turns if this attack is critical. So basically you need to build her up to 70% crit rate in order to get the full damage off of her poisons. On our A3 here, attacks one enemy, removes 1 random buff from the target, has a 75% chance of placing HP burn debuff for 3 turns. So that buffs up to 100% chance, just an HP burn, and you can remove the increased attack from the boss. And on our A1, H crit fills this champion's turn meter by 10%, so it can be up to 20%. And with the increased crit damage here, you can kind of, you know, work that in to happen more often. The thing that lets her down really is this is on a 5-turn cooldown. It's just 2 5% poisons for 3 turns. So definitely not the best poisoner in the game by any stretch of the imagination, but not a bad option if she's the one you've got. And then finally for the epics, let's take a look at Eothar. Eothar, another poisoner, definitely better than Juliana for this role. On a 3-turn cooldown, he attacks 4 times at random, which will all hit the clan boss. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns, so very good ability, really good against the dragon as well as the clan boss, and still one of the better poisoners in the game. Doesn't hold up to like a Frozen Banshee or a Cult Brawler anymore, but still definitely a solid option, especially on a speed team. So that's going to be it for the epics. Now let's go ahead and look at the legendaries. So for the non-voids, we are going to be seeing Roshar the Tower. He's a pretty strong champion. He comes in here with a block cooldown skills and block buffs on his A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. It's just one enemy. But what he's really known for is his A3 here on a 4-turn cooldown, places block damage buff on all allies for 2 turns. That is a very strong ability, and if your opponent does not have any sort of buff stripping, this can just outright win you the game if they can't do any damage to you. So definitely a good legendary. He's also featured in some very high-end unkillable clan boss teams, so pretty good overall. Then one of the top legendaries in the game, Martyr. She is one of the 3 counterattack champions, and on her A2 here plays a 60% increased defense buff and a counterattack buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. She is just an amazing champion. I have her on my alt account, and she just does work. I mean, I was able to beat the faction crypts all the way up to stage 14 with just her on my team. She was able to beat 2 bosses by herself. So just an absolute monster. If you can get this champion, I definitely would. I'm not saying go out there and pull your ancients for this event. Remember, you do not have a boosted chance of getting a legendary. It's just if you get one, you have a 10 times chance to get either Martyr or Rochard. So keep that in mind. I will not be pulling ancients even though I don't have her on this account. But if you decide that it's worth it to try and get her for you, then absolutely go for it because she is amazing. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the Voids. So we are going to be seeing Sir Nick as a ×10. He's an absolute beast of a champion as well. On his A3 here, on a 4-turn cooldown, he places unkillable and 15% continuous heal on all allies for 2 turns. So again, he can be featured in high-end unkillable clan boss teams. And then on his A2 here, very strong, attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. Value of the shield is equal to 30% of the damage inflicted. That is on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. And yeah, I mean, it's basically Miscreated Monster's ability, but maybe a little bit stronger. He is really good and can definitely come in and carry you through Spider. Basically all dungeons. On his A1 here, also has a 50% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn that cannot be resisted, so you don't need to build accuracy on him. He is just an overall beast of a champ, has an HP aura, high base HP, damage based on HP, and he hits really hard. He has really good multipliers. So let's go ahead and move on from him to Venus. Now Venus is just an absolute amazing champion again. Basically, she brings every bit of utility you could possibly want in this game. She's got Poison on her A1. She's got decreased defense and decreased weaken AoE on her A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. She's Void, so she's never going to hit weak. It is a 100% chance once booked. On her A3 here, she has an AoE HP burn, so say goodbye to Spider. Also good utility on the clan boss, and it is also a 75% chance when booked. So pretty consistent, and it's on a 4-turn cooldown, so not too bad. That's the same as Ultimate Gallic, I believe. So I mean, just overall amazing everywhere in the game. If you have her, you probably bring her everywhere you go, including the arena, because she's got that decreased defense and weaken. So I've got only a couple of Void shards because of the recent ×2 Void pulls. So I think I might pull them just to try and get lucky and snag a Venus. I'm not expecting to, but I mean, it's only 3 shards. I'm not going to miss them. So yeah, that's going to be it for the ×10 summons on Sacred Order. Wish they had gone with something new, but Sacred Order is a really strong faction, so it's not a bad one to pull if you are inclined to pull for ×10 summons. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below telling me if you're excited about the new arena. I am personally, as an in-game player. I think it's going to give me something to do for a while, which I am happy about. But I'm also interested to hear what you guys think might be developing as a meta for that as we go forward. And make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. We have a great community going on over there. And thanks for watching.